Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and I am super excited to announce a brand new reading challenge today, and it's something that I have really been wanting to do for a number of years, and I just couldn't figure out how it was going to look. I couldn't figure out what to call it, and I recently heard my friend Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes talking about reading some books by L.M. Montgomery, and including the Anne of Green Gables books and a couple of others, and saying that she was really wanting to read more books by Montgomery. And I have been wanting to encourage all of you, my viewers, to do the same, and I just couldn't figure out how that was going to look. But now it has come together, and I am so excited to bring you the hashtag More Montgomery challenge. Because y'all know I can't host a readathon or reading challenge unless it's got an alliteration in the title. And one night in the shower recently, I had the epiphany. More Montgomery. Duh. That's the whole point of this challenge, is to introduce you to more Montgomery, more things by Lucy Maud Montgomery other than Anne of Green Gables. Now, I don't usually talk a lot about Lucy Maud Montgomery books on my channel because I read them all way before I ever started booktubing. So I don't have occasion to talk about them much, but she is one of my all-time favorite authors. And I absolutely love Anne, and I love everything else that I have read that has been published by her. And all of those things I just devoured when I first read Anne on the recommendation of my mom. Even after I was an adult when I read Anne of Green Gables, I could not get enough Lucy Maud Montgomery. Now, you might wonder, why am I saying Lucy Maud Montgomery when all of her books say L.M. Montgomery? I do that because I don't like saying L.M. Montgomery, because so many times when people say it, it sounds like they're saying Ella Montgomery. And that's not her name. It's Lucy. It's Lucy Maud. I think she went by Maud, but I don't know. I feel like her and I are not on a close enough, first name, middle name basis for me to just refer to her as Maud. And so Mitzi and I have come up with a bingo board of sorts. It's really a challenge board. It's a 9-space card. And if you want to make a bingo in any row, you can. Or if you want to fill out the whole thing, you can. But we just want to encourage you to explore the world of Lucy Maud Montgomery. And guess what? You have 3 months to do it. I know that a lot of September readathons and reading challenges have already been announced, and there's probably more to come. But you have 3 months to do this one. And really, if you space it out, let's say you set a goal to just do 3 of the prompts, you can just do 1 a month. Or if you want to do them all, you just do 3 a month. And 3 of the 9 are watchable. So it's very, very doable in a 3-month period of time. And I hope that you will join in. So I originally thought I would do recommendations in this video, but I'm not. I'm just going to show you the card and go over the prompts again, and then I will do a separate video where I'll probably share my TBR and some recommendations for you. So let me show you the card, and we'll just go through each of the prompts. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments. But first square here is to read a standalone novel, and there are several. And of course, Anne of Green Gables is a series, but there are lots of standalones. And then the next square is to watch any non-Anne adaptation. Now, we'll get to the Anne adaptations in a minute, but I want you to look and explore and see what you can find that is a non-Anne movie or TV adaptation. I will go ahead and just give you one example. Emily of New Moon. There's a whole series. I think there's 4 seasons of it, and some or all of those are on Hoopla. So if you have access to Hoopla, you can watch those on Hoopla. And of course, there is the Road to Avonlea series, which is an all-time favorite of mine. We'll talk more about all of that later. Some of the movies, I think, have been made into adaptations. So look and see what you can find. So then the next square in the top corner is to read a short story collection. And there are quite a few, probably a dozen or more different short story collections that you could choose from. And then for the middle row, you can watch an Anne adaptation. And there are several of those to choose from. There are 3 different movies from the Megan Follows adaptation that I love. This was probably the first Anne adaptation that I ever saw. There's even at least one that's older than that, that's all in black and white. I've seen part of that. I need to find that again and see, you know, if I've watched the whole thing, because I don't think I watched the whole thing. It was on maybe like A&E or Turner Classic Movies or something years ago. And then there are, of course, a couple of more recent Anne adaptations, the one on Netflix, Anne with an E, and I think the BBC did one. I've seen at least, I think that's maybe a 2-movie series, and I think I've seen both of those. Anyway, lots of different Anne adaptations to choose from. So try to find one that you haven't seen before and enjoy it. I hope that you will. Then for the center square, of course, we can't do a Montgomery challenge without mentioning Anne. So if you have read Anne, then read another one. And if you have read all 8 of the original Anne of Green Gables series, then it's a free space. You don't have to read anything. Check it off and say, I have read all of Anne. Now, if you really want to get legalistic, you could read the Anne prequel if you haven't read this, but this is by Budge Wilson. It was sanctioned by the Montgomery estate, and it is considered book 0 for the Anne of Green Gables series, but if you've read all of these, then you can consider it checked off. And if you want to read this, it could count towards one of the other squares. Then the next one in the middle row is to read a book from a duology or trilogy. Well, I know of 2 duologies and 1 trilogy, and you could read any book from any of those. And then the bottom row, read a retelling or anything related to Anne. So there are really a lot of different things to choose from. The one retelling that I know about is Anna of California. I have had this on my TBR now for a couple of years, and I'm excited to get to it. And then the middle square on the bottom is to read a nonfiction book or anything biographical. So by that I mean, if you want to read a novelized biography such as this one, Maud by Melanie Fishbane, then you could do that. Even though this is fictionalized, it still would count for that square. Or you could just read a biography of Lucy Maud Montgomery. There are quite a lot that you could choose from. And then the last square is to reread or rewatch a favorite. And of course, anything goes for that one. If you have never read or watched anything by Lucy Maud Montgomery, then I guess you won't be able to do that one. But, you know, I'm sure that most of you out there who are going to respond to this challenge will have read or watched something. So here's your chance to rewatch or reread a favorite. So those are the prompts for the hashtag More Montgomery challenge. The main goal of this challenge is to encourage you to think outside the box, think outside the box of Anne, and explore the world of Lucy Maud Montgomery. And I know that you will find some other things that you can really love and find some new favorites. So I will be back soon with my own TBR and with some recommendations. And actually, we will do a lot of the recommendations during a live stream kickoff that will be here on my channel on August the 28th, which should be a Sunday. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Mitzi will also join me here. Then at the end of the challenge, which will be at the end of November, either on or around November 30th, we will have another live stream, and that one will probably be on Mitzi's channel, and we will do a wrap-up and chat about what we've read, maybe if we found any new favorites, and anything we want to talk about to sort of wrap things up. Also, November 30th is Lucy Maud Montgomery's birthday. She was born November 30th, 1874. So this year, if she were still living, she would turn 148. So join us to celebrate the birthday of one of my favorite authors and and I hope one of your favorites as well. So chat with me in the comments. Let me know some of the books you've already read by her. Let me know some other books that you've been wanting to get to, and if you plan to participate. I will be adding some threads to my Goodreads group, which is Lizziefaye's Comfy Corner, where you can post your TBR or your TBW to be watched. And I hope that you will chat there about anything Lucy Maud Montgomery. And we were also just chatting about possibly starting a Voxer group. If that is something you would be interested in, Voxer is fun because you can chat verbally. It's just much easier to hop on and say a message rather than having to type it all out. You can type messages, you can even post pictures, and it is a fun walkie-talkie type format. So if you would participate in a Voxer group, let me know, and that might be the deciding factor as to whether we actually follow through and start a Voxer group just for this challenge. So even if your September is already committed and full, you can still do this challenge because you've got 3 months. And if you want to do a whole blackout, you just do 3 a month. You know, read 2, watch 1 each month. Or if you just want to do 3 things, do 1 a month. Or put it off till November and read some nonfiction about Lucy Maud Montgomery. Whatever you want to do, however you want to participate, we welcome you. I do also plan to do some giveaways. I have a few duplicate Lucy Maud Montgomery books, and I would like to reward your participation by giving some of those. I will do, I'll let you know a little more detail later. Just know that they will be for participation. Based on your level of participation, I will do some drawings, and there will probably be at least one at the end or during the month of September, and then one in October, and then several at the end of November. So stay tuned for more information. Be sure to check out Mitzi's announcement video, which should be uploading at the same time as this one. And if you're coming here from Mitzi's channel, welcome. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will. And I hope to talk to you soon. So I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.